Her name was Isara Kai. She was born on Earth, not in its gleaming cities or digital arcologies, but in the ragged frontier zones, where sunlight still touched unfiltered air, and life was dirt under fingernails and stars in unlit skies. Her mother farmed oxygen crops. Her father repaired obsolete satellites. They taught her the worth of silence, strength, and stubborn hope. Isara learned early that the universe did not owe her fairness. She watched Earth's outer colonies crumble under economic siege, saw news feeds where humans were second-class species in galactic markets, and listened as her generation was told to behave, to serve, to stay useful. She disagreed. At 16, she hacked her way into the Planetary Scholarship League and earned a place at the Interstellar Cultural Exchange Program. At 18, she boarded a vessel bound for Lithra 9, a resource-rich planet at the edge of the nebular reach, governed by the Council of Sevens, a proud people who had never bowed to another race in 5,000 years. They welcomed her with smiles. Smiles that hid disdain. Humans were a novelty. Isara was paraded through royal universities, taught courtly language, and asked to perform Terran songs like a trained bird. Her beauty was complimented, her mind tolerated. They spoke over her. They doubted her credentials. They assigned her menial research, then took credit for her breakthroughs. She said nothing. She learned. When she submitted her paper on interspecies cognitive synthesis, revolutionary work, the council rejected it. Said it lacked cultural elegance. Then they published a plagiarized version under a Lytheran name. Isara filed a formal protest. They laughed. Then they punished her. They revoked her housing. Blocked her from labs. Sent her to the outer ring, a harsh biome called Kara's Grief, known for its shifting gravity and temporal storms. No one lasted more than 3 months there. They thought she'd shatter. Instead, Isara adapted. She built a shelter from crashed satellite panels. Modified her own body's chronocycles to weather the time shifts. Learned the terrain. She mapped the storms and learned their rhythms, finding beauty in the chaos. She recorded gravimetric pulses and discovered a hidden pattern. The planet's core was unstable, not in danger but alive. Over months, she realized the truth. Lithra 9 was not just a planet. It was a sentient being in dormant slumber, misunderstood by its own inhabitants, misused for millennia. The gravitational anomalies were not failures, they were dreams. She began communicating with it. Through harmonics, through electromagnetic pulses, through pain and presence. And the planet, Lithra, responded. It showed her its history. The wars, the betrayals, the loneliness. It revealed how the Council of Sevens had long exploited its life force to power cities and ships. They had silenced its voice, calling the tremors natural, the gravity shifts coincidental. But now it had Isara. And Isara had a plan. She returned to the capital during the Festival of Unity. Dressed in exile leathers, hair wild, skin scarred and radiant with power. The Lytheran guards tried to stop her. The ground cracked. The sky folded. Isara walked through untouched. In the central forum, as the 7 lords feasted, she stepped into the council chamber. They called her insolent. They ordered her arrest. She smiled. And the planet moved. Lithra's orbit shifted by 0.07 degrees. Enough to destabilize every satellite, blind their defense network, and block outbound comms. The gravity rose, then fell, then danced. The cities buckled. Towers bent. The winds screamed in forgotten tongues. Then she spoke. You broke my spirit to feed your pride. But my spirit now speaks with the voice of the world you pretend to rule. Panic spread. The council tried to flee. But Lithra held them in place. She didn't kill them. She let them feel, every stolen breath, every ignored whisper, every time the planet cried out in silence. Isara issued one demand: freedom for all sentient beings, recognition of planetary consciousness, and the end of exploitation. They resisted. She and Lithra rewrote the orbital mechanics of the planet, pushing it into a new rotational axis. Seasons changed. Trade routes collapsed. The economy imploded. And from the ruins, a new world emerged. Isara didn't stay to rule. She vanished into the deeper reaches, leaving behind a single line carved into the planetary stone. Break the soul of a daughter, and she may return as the mother of stars. To this day, Lithra 9 orbits in silence, but now it hums a new song. One of defiance. Of memory. Of freedom. And across the galaxy, when a world threatens to break the spirit of a human woman, elders whisper of Isara Kai, the one who didn't just survive exile. She rewrote gravity. She shattered their pride. She broke a planet's orbit, not with war but with will. But her story didn't end there. Beyond Lithra 9, Other planetary minds stirred. Ancient worlds that had long been hushed began to shift. Tectonic groans echoing across voids, storm patterns that moved with strange rhythm, and magnetic poles that pulsed with what looked like speech. Isara had awakened more than rebellion. She had awakened an old consciousness seated in matter itself, a theory some Terran philosophers had long postulated, that every celestial body, if left untouched long enough, developed a kind of soul. Isara became their emissary. She didn't lead fleets. She arrived alone. On dust-covered moons, in haunted mining colonies, on derelict trade routes, she spoke to the cores of worlds and left with volcanic songs echoing in her bones. Systems that once profited from extractive rule began to collapse under coordinated planetary shifts. Not natural disasters, revolts of geology. Her name became a curse in boardrooms and a prayer among the oppressed. A new alliance formed. Not political, not military, but planetary. Lithera 9, once exploited, became a sanctuary and voice of this new awakening. They called themselves the Cradle Choir. And their goal was simple: no more worlds enslaved. No more spirits silenced. Empires fell. And somewhere in the dark between galaxies, Isara Kai walked barefoot across the frozen skin of a forgotten comet, humming to it in a language only it remembered. She was no longer just a woman. She was the answer to every world that had been told to be still. She was gravity's daughter. And she never bowed again.